Partalán ó brusnacán is anam dum, agus is éireannach mé, ach tá an farrig orm. I wanted to give my reaction to this. Irish have always been mongrels, according to Brianna ní Diarmada. This is a part of a RTÉ documentary that's coming out, I think, on the weekend. I think Colin Farrell will be regretting the fact that he is narrating this, or maybe not. Maybe his pay was quite good. The film industry has been known to have people do a lot of things for money and not necessarily for integrity. But anyway, she called us mongrels, and always mongrels, not in the past, but always been mongrels. Like even when the Vikings and the Normans and the British came in, there still isn't like this huge, massive mix of DNA. You know, it's actually very small. Like for instance, how many people in Ireland has Scandinavian DNA? Because the levels of people that came in weren't that big. They say that Niall of the Nile hostages was this perfect specimen of Irishness. Like I think it's written in the Origins of the Irish by J.P. Mallory, I think it is. I'll put the book up there. He talks about Niall of the Nile hostages as being like the epitome of Irishness, you know, because there was such a huge, long period of time where there was no real invasions or invaders. So what the hell is this thing about being a mongrel? What is that all about? Like, are they talking about the invasions, mythological invasions, which kind of equates to the different periods of history and up to historical times? There's arguments for it being not homogeneous, that there has been different periods of time where other peoples came in, but it's inconsequential to the actual overturning of what was already here. It seems like what has always happened with the Irish is that we kind of assimilate, people assimilate. What happened with the Vikings is they completely disappeared into Irishness. They started speaking Oscuelga and they started developing political marriages and they just disappeared. Like, who's speaking Scandinavian now? The same thing happened with the Normans. The ones that really conquered us were the British, and we were speaking Oscuelga now, like in English, you know, because we were conquered, and this is what happened over time. But even we don't have English, we don't have vast amounts of English blood, like, because they didn't actually come in and overtake the population. But I want to do something very quick, right? And I want to actually talk to ChatGPT. And I'm going to ask the question about mongrels. Is it okay to actually call a race of people mongrels? So let's see how that goes.
Bertie, no. The Irish are not a mongrel race. And that kind of language is outdated, offensive, and based on racial pseudoscience rather than real history or genetics. So I went on to ask about the recent interview and their so-called findings, which will broadcast on Irish TV, RTÉ, and the lecturer Brianna ní Diarmada. So I gave the quote: "Mongrel is a word historically used to denigrate mixed peoples. It carries colonial, racist baggage and implies inferiority or dilution. It is not an empowering word for a people who've already endured centuries of oppression, famine, cultural destruction and attempts at forced assimilation."
And this is just my opinion about this, okay? This is all political. This has been going on now for a while, and this has always been the case in Ireland. For some reason, it is my belief that the conquering of the Irish is utmost and of absolute priority. And if people want to disagree with that, then what were the British Empire doing? Just tell us what they were doing. I am a Catholic, but I do have reservations when it comes to the early Vatican, the early popes' intentions with Ireland. What was that all about? It was trying to get control, right? What was the Norman invasions all about? Control, conquering and stuff. I believe this hasn't stopped. This is my belief, right? It has not stopped. There is a continued destruction and rewriting of history. RTÉ did a recent documentary with a 40-year-old with a plastic bag in his head from the leafy suburbs of Limerick. And he tried to rewrite history and call us all slavers. Now, him and Blind Boy podcast, whatever. I know lots of people love him. Whatever. I will do another piece on him at a different time. If we combine what he's saying with this lady, this academic, we're now mongrel slavers. That's what we are, right? So there's a rewriting of history going on, and it's okay to call the Irish mongrels. You do that, right? Because we've always been subjected to this type of stuff. And you know what we do? We persevere and we overcome. We're not weaklings. We're not victims. Even though there's been huge conquering going on here, there's been massive amounts of slaughtering, untold criminality, damage, corruption, and in the historical sense, crime, unbelievable crimes to humanity. Some will even say that, the famine was a complete genocide, right? We're not mongrels, right? We're not that racist slur. We're not that. Of course we're not. We're one of the most loved people in the whole entire world. There's a reason why people, even though tourism is starting to die a little bit, we could go into all of that, but the reality is we're one of the most visited countries in the world because of per capita, because of the Irishness, because of our culture. Not because of a mongrel culture, because of a distinct Irish culture with distinct Irish people, with a distinct accent, distinct language, distinct heritage, distinct story, distinct everything. This is just a part of a bigger plan to try to politically outmaneuver, politically destroy, and potentially continue the conquering process of Ireland. We will overcome this. Listen, you go on to Vikings series, right? And you look through the whole series. What you will miss in the Viking series is the Irish story. They didn't include the Irish story because the Irish story tells that we dominated the Vikings. Dominated them. They never conquered us, right? But they won't tell that side of us. Listen, you're not going to see Brian Boru on the big screen. You're not going to see it, right? I'm not being pessimistic. Maybe if things change, we'll see it, but you're not going to see it because you know why? It tells an unbelievable, heroic, kingly, and then with his high queens and all of these people that were involved with this. You're not going to see that story because they don't want to tell it, right? The conquering never stopped. It just changed forms, right? And I'll be accused of jingoism. I will be accused of nationalistic, over-patriotic kind of verbiage here. That's fine. Do that. You can do that because I don't like being called mongrels, right? You tell me whatever I say here. How is it wrong? But also tell me how you can defend Irish people can't be called mongrels if you think that's okay. Let us know in the comments, right? Let us know in the comments what you think. Goramilama agwiv galerma cardja be me the kind slong go fall. Thank you so much, everyone. If you like this video, make sure you're subscribed, hit the notification bell. If you want to support the channel, buy some merch. YouTube Bertie code for 10% off. My book is still at a reduced rate. I decided to continue it for another while. Feeling generous. The Forgotten Prince. If you want to support the mission, make sure you get that book. The Forgotten Prince, Brian Boru and the Battle of Clontarf. If you want to donate to help me continue making these videos, make sure you check out the links below. There's many options. Buy me a coffee, PayPal. There is a Stripe link where you can just donate by card. And if you want to join YouTube membership, you get members only videos. You get emoticons, you get badges for each month that you're a part of the membership community, members only posts and stuff like that. It's very low price, $1.99 a month. All of it helps. Thank you so much, everyone. Slán go fóill. Talk soon.